Well, good morning, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Here we are again with another coffee with Slick Sixguns, or should I say, coffee with Tactidad. And you know what that means? We're going to be talking a little bit more about the modern firearms, because I'm me. So, make sure that you guys pour your soda or whatever you got. Enjoy the show, because we're going to have some fun today. Alright, let's get right down to it. This is what you guys came here for. So this is my new snake charmer. It is 410. It's a nice little shotgun. It's got a nice pistol grip here, which is pretty neat. It is a youth model. Yes, don't hate on me too much. Alright, so it's got a nice little cheeky stock here. Very durable, it looks like. It's got its little pistol grip, exposed hammer, and yes, for anyone asks, it is unloaded. Alright, its trigger right here. It's got this little barrel release right here. It is a break action, as you guys can tell. Alright, it's got an extractor, not an ejector, which is interesting. I don't know. It actually might eject. I haven't shot this thing. I'll go ahead and talk about that here in a second. It's got a nice little short barrel, and it's obviously got a forend here that's plastic. No bead on the front, but you know what? This is just really short range and meant more for youth. Yes, it does have a safety on it, and it's actually kind of unique. It's a twist safety, so you twist it, and the hammer can no longer contact the firing pin. The hammer is rebounding, so it'll come off of the hammer once fired, or come off of the firing pin once fired. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about this shotgun a little bit. As always, these posts like these are basically going to be I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I came across the rifle, potentially what I paid for it. Keep that in mind. It's subjective. What I like about it, what I don't like about it, and and maybe just get into a few other things here. But let's kind of talk about all those things here all in this video. So this is just kind of an introduction to the rifle, or the shotgun, I should say. And why did I want one, or how did I come across it? Well, let's just say that if you guys have been following the channel for any length of time, you know that I have a lot of different guns that I collect. I bring a smorgasbord on here, mostly having to do with Western stuff, but starting to introduce some of the modern stuff just because I know that some of my followers are into that, and also kind of gives me a chance to give you an alternate personality. Instead of Slick Sixguns, you got Tactidad, who is all about the tactical stuff, and I'm sure some of you guys want to see that. Anyway, so why did I get this thing? Well, first off, I actually got this as a Christmas present for my son, so it'll be his first shotgun. It is 410. Whether he'll actually shoot it, I'm not sure. It's really going to be up to him. But it's obviously perfect for his size. He is very young, and this would fit him just great. But also I bought it not only for that, but so we could tackle the squirrel situation in our backyard. And I got tired of taking 12 gauge to him because, well, quite frankly, it'd blow him apart. So I do have a 20 gauge, but I didn't want to use that either because the 20 gauge I have is too pretty for something like that. The 12 gauge I was using was a plastic, what I call my crack house shotgun. And you'll see that here on the channel. And it does a good job, but it just blows them apart. And so it's kind of a bit of a mess, especially when they're at close range. So I wanted something that was a little bit cleaner. As far as cleanup, and a little bit more precise, I should say. So I decided to just go with this. little 410, nice little varmint dispatcher, and, you know, it's something that my son could learn on if he wanted to. If, you know, he hasn't shot it, so as I said, it's for Christmas, so as we're getting closer to Christmas, hopefully you guys get what you want, and I hope this is something that he wants, but doesn't mean that I won't enjoy it myself, because, you know, fun stuff, things go boom, right? So anyway, let's talk a little bit about, you know, so that's the reason why I wanted it. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, how much I paid for it. To my knowledge, first off, this is used, okay? This is not brand new. I got this off of a friend, and I got it off of a friend in exchange for some services that I provided in helping him out with his guns. So I actually got this thing. I'm not going to say it was for free because it wasn't. I put in a lot of work for him, and so in exchange, instead of money, I took a shotgun as payment. So, you know, it's very nice. So I'm glad I was able to get it. I don't know the average MSRP for these, but I would imagine it's somewhere between $150 and $200. Because you can find things like the little Cricket Model 22s for around that price range. So, you know, relatively inexpensive, especially since it's a single shot and it is a youth model, so that's kind of neat. You know, so if that's something that you guys are into, it's a relatively inexpensive way to get into the shooting sports and a great way to introduce a younger person into shooting, especially if you want to do something with them. You know, getting into the cowboy action side, single shots are legal. However, these are not, to my knowledge. Pistol grip shotguns, specifically in this configuration, and this with this kind of aesthetic, probably would not be allowed. You know, although I'm sure it probably depends on your club. Maybe they'll be willing to make exceptions, especially if it's a youth shotgun, first timer out there just giving it a try. You know, sometimes that's a club thing. They may let you try something in the caliber, may not necessarily look period correct, but because they're a youth, they just want to get them into shooting. So it may, your mileage will vary on that. So, but as far as the rule book is concerned, I can't see that it is actually allowed. So, you know, although, you know, modern shotguns with these type of, you know, stocks and forends wouldn't be allowed. So, you know, because it's dealing with the Old West. Anyway, other than that, let's talk a little bit about what I like about it. It is very compact. I think that's kind of cool. It's very small, so great for, you know, what it's designed for, which is, you know, a youth model. I like where the barrel release is. I'm used to the Harrington and Richardson release style being up here or in the middle. I think it's pretty interesting to have the release there. I think it's more intuitive. You know, I don't think it's faster, but I think it is relatively intuitive. You can stay on target, much like you can stay on target with these. Not that that's not possible, but for a youth, I can see that it might be a little bit safer for them to actually unlock the shotgun down here than up here, just because they may actually have to physically bring it down, you know, depending on your young person's age. You know, they would, instead of staying up here and releasing, you know, the release and then causing a shell to be ejected into their face. What I like about the shotgun is, even though I haven't fired it yet, this seems to be an extractor, not necessarily an ejector, as it doesn't really pop out. So you may not have that problem. You know, so you won't have shells flying into the kid's face or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. So I think that's neat. It is stainless. I do like the fact that it's plastic. It looks durable. So I would say that, you know, I'm not going to cry if this thing gets dropped. You know, this isn't meant to be a collector to me. This is meant to be taken out into the woods, carried, shot, used and abused, if you will. For those of you who know me, I do like to use and abuse things that are meant to be used and abused. And stuff that is meant to be cared for, I try to take care of it as much as possible. So, that's just me. Anyway, what else do I like about it? It's very, as I said, very solid design, very similar to the Harrington and Richardson that I'm used to. I do like the pistol grip look here. I think that allows you to get a good purchase on the gun, especially for a young person. And that's kind of what I like about it. Obviously, I also like the gauge too. What I don't like about it is I do not like the safety up here. Even though, it's not intuitive. It's not a cross bolt safety I think would have been a better choice. But, that's just me. I could be wrong. But, this is just a little single shot, just for a kid. It might allow a little bit more of a parental safeguard, if you will, by making sure that, the kid can't do it really fast. So it's easy for a parent to kind of monitor that and ensure that, you allow the kid to shoot and the kid shoots when you expect to, not they just randomly decide to pull the trigger because they want to. I think it's a good idea. I just don't think the manipulation of it is very easy, especially for an adult. I would prefer a crossbolt safety, but that's not what this is. Anyway, I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a front sight. Not that, you would necessarily need one. But, I'm used to having shotguns having a bit of a bead on them, at least something to kind of give you a little frame of reference. And obviously, if you're teaching shooting to somebody, it's kind of nice to have a bead so that if they transition over to something a little bit larger, then maybe they'll get used to it rather than having to adjust. But I could be wrong. It could actually help improve shooting and allow people to take more time and actually get to know their gun. So it may actually be something that changes with time. I do like the fact that it has a single action hammer. This is something that has to be done individually. So once again, just kind of an extra little control measure for if you have a youth shooting. They aren't just able to load the round in, close it, and then fire. They actually have to take the time to pull the hammer back. So I think that's kind of nice as well. So I mean, there you go. That's kind of what I like and don't like about this thing. So we got some interesting stuff. And this says it is made in Turkey, so it is a foreign-made thing, not made in America, whatever you think of that. I could care less at this point, really, depending on how she shoots, functions, and the quality. I'll get to you more on that. And, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. And I will see you in future videos. Thank you.